On today's show, we explore how to step into your main character energy and create your movie star alter ego, as well as how you can take your new persona for a test drive with my alter ego coffee shop test. So, grab your popcorn, get comfy, and silence your inner critic, because it's time to Movify your life. Welcome to the Movify Your Life show, the plot twist you've been waiting for. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and through the Movify Your Life method, I'll show you how to step into the starring role of your story and create a life worth watching. Every Movify Monday, you'll learn how to turn everyday moments into unforgettable memories, activate your main character energy, and use cinematic tools to boldly chase your biggest dreams, like the movie star you truly are. Because when the credits roll, I want you to look back at your life like it's the greatest film ever made, full of meaning, magic, and most importantly, zero regrets. And because I truly believe everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. So grab your popcorn, cue the music, and together, let's Movify your life.
The Movify Your Life show begins. Lift the spirit, let joy rush in. Feel the magic in the roar. Step on stage and ask for more.
Hello, and welcome to the Movify Your Life show. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and today we're going to talk all about stepping into your main character energy with your movie star alter ego. But before we get into that, I just want to start with a little life update, Movify Your Life update. If you're listening to this, the movie-mentary that this whole thing is based on, my film that I made for YouTube, is already out. You can go to movifyyourlife.com and follow the links there, or go to youtube.com/@movifyyourlife to get to my channel. But at the time of recording, I haven't released it yet. I have showed it to a couple of people, and the other day I showed it to my friends Vicky and Ruth, who are in the movie-mentary. We had a little telly party online. If you've used that browser extension, it's quite cool. You can watch a film together and talk, like chat as you go along. And yeah, I was really, really nervous because it is really, really nerve-wracking putting yourself out there, but also putting your art out there, if you can call it that, I guess, and seeing how people will react. And this is, a year and a half of my life basically put into this film, and it was really, really nerve-wracking. And I have sent the link to a few more friends, hoping they'll watch it soon and give me some feedback. And then it will be unleashed on the world. And the other day, a couple of days ago, I also got my finished paperback book, Movify Your Life, in the post from Amazon. And that is going to be released soon too. It's an accompaniment to the film. And as I say, if you're listening to this, both are already out. So go to movifyyourlife.com to find out more about the book, the movie, all that jazz. And you can search for Movify Your Life on Amazon and it'll pop right up for Kindle and ebook. Kindle is the ebook and paperback. And it's also available on Kobo, Nook, iBooks or Apple Books, whatever it's called these days, and lots of other places online. So that's my big update this week. All very, very nerve-wracking, as I say. And yeah, I've just got to keep going, feeling the fear and doing it anyway over here. I also thought I would add a little bit to each episode as we talk about movies and TV shows so much. I thought I'd do a little update on what I've been watching recently. I haven't been going to the cinema too much recently just because I've had so much work on, so much stuff to do with the podcast, the book, the movie, the website, the upcoming course, and that's on top of my day job of editing and proofreading and ghostwriting. So it's been a lot. So I haven't been to the cinema as much recently, but I did go to see the new Jurassic Park Rebirth. I think it's called Rebirth, with Scarlett Johansson, ScarJo, and Jonathan Bailey. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't think it really felt like a Jurassic Park movie though. It didn't have the sort of normal format, and I know some of them haven't recently, like Dominion was a bit wider, broader. It just didn't really have the heart, I don't think, of Jurassic Park. It was more of a kind of, a group goes out on, one last mission, one last job, one last heist before they retire, and everything goes wrong. It was that kind of vibe more so than Jurassic Park, but it's enjoyable, and there's a cute little dinosaur called Dolores in it, so I think if you're a Jurassic Park fan, you're going to watch it regardless, aren't you? So, and Jonathan Bailey in his slutty little glasses, as the internet has labelled them. Gives you a good reason to watch. And ScarJo is quite good at, running around and kicking ass. So there's that. So I saw that recently at the cinema. And what have I been watching? TV-wise, I've been watching Too Much, the Lena Dunham show on Netflix. And I found that quite interesting because I also watched, I think it's called My Oxford Year on Netflix. I want to say her name is Sophia Carson. The contrast between those two, they're both basically Americans come over to England and live here or study here, try and make a new life here. And the Oxford Year one is very hallmarky, very romantic, unrealistic, romanticized. And then the Too Much one is very much pretty realistic, I would say, in terms of what, London and English cities and things are more like. So I like watching both of those and comparing them. And in terms of Movify Your Life, I absolutely do not want to movify my life in terms of Jurassic Park. I'd like meet some of the veggie dinosaurs, but other than that, no, you can keep them. I don't need to be chased around by T-Rex or D-Rex or whatever is in the last one, a really gross looking dinosaur. And I do get the whole Americans coming to England thing for a new life because I am the opposite. I am an English person who likes going to America for a new life. I lived there for a year at university, so I pretty much did the opposite of what she does in My Oxford Year. And I like the idea of going somewhere new where you don't know anyone and just being forced out of your comfort zone, really, because you don't know anyone and it's all completely new. So in terms of movifying your life, I think that's a pretty good format to follow if you do want to do something as crazy, big, like huge change as move to another country. So I think those are the kinds of films always make me motivated to go and do something big, even if it's, a cheesy, hallmarky type film. So that's what I've been watching recently. And now I want to dive into the whole idea of your movie star alter ego. So if you've watched my Movify Your Life movie-mentary on YouTube or read my book or both, you will know all about this. It's basically a tool I used during my year of movification to step inside a starring role of my story, the mini movie I created for the film. But also the idea is to step inside the starring role of your life and enter your main character era and get all the main character energy going. And as Kate Winslet's character, Iris, says in The Holiday, I should be the leading lady of my life. Like, we should all be the main characters in our story, but sometimes we need a little push. We need a reason to go out there and do the big things. We need just a bit of help, and that's where your movie star alter ego comes in. So I mention it in the film. I tell you about my own movie star alter ego, Veronica Gilmore, which I created for my Movify mission in New England. And I do a massive deep dive into it in the book. So if you're at all interested in this, please go and get my book, Movify Your Life. Another good book to read is Todd Herman's The Alter Ego Effect. I read that after I came up with my movie star alter ego, but he does an even deeper dive. He's like the proper expert on this. He's been doing it for like 20 years on the science behind alter egos, and he goes into way more detail. So that's also another good book to check out. So what is your movie star alter ego? Well, basically it is the big, bold, amazing version of yourself, the more cinematic version of yourself who can go and do the scary things without freaking out, who feels the fear and does it anyway. Well, I think it's a good exercise for anyone, but it will really, really help you if you're at all like me or how I used to be, quiet, shy, introverted, scared of going and doing new things or being noticed or being the center of attention. Having an alter ego to sort of put on before you do this can really, really help. And as I say, I go to greater detail in my book and my film, but I just wanted to run through the idea behind it and the main points. So if you want to go and do this exercise, you can go and do it right after listening to this episode. So I mentioned in the book how when I think of famous alter egos, I think of Breaking Bad. I think of Walter White and Heisenberg. And I do not recommend you follow Walter White's character arc because there's a lot of drugs involved and a lot of death and violence and things you don't want to be doing, really. Let's keep this positive. But I think it's a really good example because when he needs to be the person who does all these scary, dangerous things, he becomes Heisenberg. He has a different name. He has a different look. He puts on the hat and the glasses, the little pork pie hat. He even talks differently. And he goes from the timid, quiet, conventional science teacher to this like underworld kingpin who kicks ass and doesn't take any prisoners. And the hat acts as a kind of transformational moment. When he puts that hat on, you know that some stuff is about to go down. Beyonce also had Sasha Fierce. I don't think she uses it anymore, but when she was first starting out, she had this alter ego, Sasha Fierce, who she became when she needed to go on stage and be that version of her. There's all kinds of other ones that we can talk about, but I think you get the idea. And yeah, it's all about being your most confident, capable self, who takes action instead of overthinking, who speaks up instead of staying quiet, who tries new things instead of playing it safe, and who embraces adventure instead of avoiding uncertainty. So like I say, so much more info in the book, but I just wanted to run through these things really quickly. So first of all, I want you to think of a person you admire. Now, this could be someone in real life, like a family member or a friend. It could be a famous person. It could be a celebrity. It could be a historical figure. It could be a fictional character. And I encourage you to go down the fictional character route for this movie star alter ego, because we're looking to film and TV as our inspiration. So who is the person who has all those qualities, who you would most want to be like, to be able to go after the things you want? And for me, I thought of loads of people, but Buffy came up for me, and also Lorelai Gilmore. And because I knew I wanted to go to New England and chase this Gilmore Girls / Hallmark film vibe, I went with Lorelai Gilmore. She is strong, independent, witty, fast talking, super stylish, funny, fun, and she goes after what she wants. So I had Lorelai Gilmore in my head as who I wanted to emulate with my movie star alter ego. And if that can relate to the genre of your film or TV show that you would most like your life to be like, or your trip to be like, this is part of the Movification framework in the Movie-mentary. That's really hard to say, Movification framework in the Movie-mentary in the book. So if you're going along and following that framework, you will also tie your movie star alter ego to the genre you're trying to create. So I had Lorelai Gilmore, I had the Gilmore Girls in my head. Then you have to give them a name. Give them a name, a vibe, a personality. So the personality was basically Lorelai Gilmore. The name, I came up with Veronica Gilmore. I wanted Gilmore in there because that's kind of obvious. And Veronica is a name I've always liked. There's a band called the Veronicas. I really like them and I like the name. And I also named a fictional character, Veronica Summers, in one of my books, the Little Forest series of books. I also write fiction. And she's also like a character who is bold, brave, goes after what she wants, doesn't really care what people think, that kind of thing. And now, a quick intermission from our feature presentation. Want to turn your everyday life into something a little more epic? Then head to movifyyourlife.com/list and join the main character memo, my VIP mailing list for Movified souls like you. You'll get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the Movify Your Life cinematic universe, early bird discounts on my programs, fun challenges, giveaways, and first dibs on everything I'm creating. Plus, you'll receive weekly emails packed with simple, powerful tips to help you break out of the ordinary, boost your confidence, and start living like the star of your own life. That's movifyyourlife.com/list. Go sign up now and start your transformation today, because your next scene could be the one that changes everything. And now, time to get back to the action. So I named mine Veronica Gilmore, so give it a name that means something to you. So you could smush two names together, like part of the fictional character, part of someone else you admire, or maybe part of like a nickname you have. Maybe, I think, stay away from your own name because you want to separate the two. But you could do like half a nickname, half a fictional character's name. Or it could be, it could describe the person in some way. Ask Uncle ChatGPT to brainstorm with you if you can't come up with a name. And then you'll have your movie star alter ego who you're aiming to be. So as I said, mine is Veronica Gilmore. Then we look at your transformational toolkit. So this could be several things, but I wanted to include at least two things. And one of them is your transformational item and your transformational song. So your transformational item, which can also be called a totem or an artifact, as Todd Herman calls it in his book. It's like an accessory that you put on, and that is a trigger to your brain that you're now becoming this other person. So this is why I mentioned Walter White, because he's a great example with the pork pie hat. He also has some shades that when he puts the shades on, he's really gone like full Heisenberg. As a viewer, you can tell when he puts on the hat that he's now changing from Walter White to Heisenberg. So it's like a really obvious trigger when we need that to be an obvious trigger to ourselves, to our minds, to our brains. So for my transformational item, I went to Nashville before I went to New England, and I found these lovely earrings from the Miranda Lambert range. And Miranda Lambert is another person I admire. She's like a feisty country music singer who goes after what she wants and doesn't really seem to care what people think of her either. So I thought it all tied together. And then whenever I put those earrings on in the film, as a viewer, if you can see my earrings, you know that I'm not me, Jess. I am, in fact, Veronica Gilmore. And it helped in real life as well, because when I put them on, I was like, centering myself, becoming Veronica Gilmore. And it gave me the confidence to go and do what I needed to be done. So I want you to choose your transformational item. An accessory, like I say, is the easiest because you can just pop it on, take it off when you need to. So it could be shoes, it could be a hat, it could be a hairband, a hair slide, bracelet, ring, necklace. It could be makeup. So every time you put like a bold red lipstick on, if it's not the kind of thing you usually wear, or maybe like a bow tie or whatever you want, like a pocket square if you wear suits, like a bright coloured pocket square. Something that signals to yourself like, this is it, I am transforming into my alter ego now. And also if you have a signature scent for your alter ego, that works really, really well because scent is so triggering to memories and it works just as well as music, I think, to trigger memories and to get you in a certain mood. And we're going to talk about that next. So choose your transformational item and or a transformational scent. Both would be great. I had the perfume that I got from Dollywood when I went there. It's a Dolly Parton perfume and I would put that on. And even now, if I smell that perfume, it takes me back there to the trip and also gives me a little boost of confidence. So we have your transformational item and the next thing is your transformational song. So this is your pump up song that you want to listen to when you're about to do the scary thing. So if you're on a trip and you're going out solo to do something, to film something for your feature presentation, if you're following my Movification framework, then you can play it just before you go out, or you can play it just before you go on stage if you're a speaker, or go online on a Zoom call if you're doing something like that, before you're making a scary phone call or having a tough conversation. Whatever it is, it needs to like really pump you up to get you going. So preferably no sad songs. Upbeat songs really work for this. And you can either choose a favourite song of yours that already exists, or you can create your own. And I talk about this in my book as part of the Movification framework for creating one for your mini video you create when you go on your Movify mission trip. But in general, this can work in life. You can listen to a song to pump you up, or you can make one. And you don't have to be a musician to do this. You can go to suno.com, Suno AI, and no matter what you think about AI, I really, 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 really love this software, this tool, because it's so fun, it's so easy, and you can create these amazing songs that can really, really get you amped up and ready to go, and you can listen to it every time you become your alter ego. So those are two things to have in your transformational toolkit, and also that you can make them part of your Movify mindset ritual, which I talk about in the book as well. So you can do things like you can put your item on, you can listen to your song, sing along to your song. You can do a power pose like Wonder Woman or Superman, or like Rebecca in Ted Lasso. She does that amazing power pose before she has to go into like a room full of old businessmen and she's the only woman there. You can do that kind of thing. You could have a mantra or an affirmation. You could look at yourself in the mirror and say the same words to yourself. It's all about having a ritual to get you in the right mindset of going and doing the big thing and becoming your movie star alter ego. So those are the main things: the name, the personality, match the genre if you're doing that, your transformational item and your transformational song, create a ritual. Then it's up to you to bring your character to life. And another good exercise you can do here is you can use AI, again, one called ChatGPT or Bing Image Creator or Midjourney, whatever you want. And you can actually generate an image of your alter ego, like the person you want to become. So you could make it look kind of like you. You know, I could say like, I've got long dark hair, I'm tall, this is my skin color, this is my vibe or whatever. But then, you know, it doesn't have to look exactly like you. You know, create this image of the person you want to become, the version of you that goes out and does the hard things. You can also obviously do a Google search, look on sites like Pexels and Unsplash to get an actual picture of a person if you don't want to use AI. Or you could draw yourself, draw your movie star alter ego if you're an artist. And then when you have the image, you can use it. You can put it on your phone wallpaper, you can print it, you can stick it on the wall, near your mirror. Let it be your visual cue when you're getting ready as your movie star alter ego. And that will help you show up as the star of your life. And the good news is the more you do this, the more you get used to it, the more your brain starts to associate your song, your scent, your item, your ritual with becoming this more confident person. And the more and more you do it, the less and less you feel like you're faking it and you actually become that person. Because this is, you know, it's not a fake person. It is you just amplified, turned up to 11. So it's just a bolder, more amplified, more cinematic version of you. So don't feel like you're faking anything. You're just turning up the volume, as I say, and stepping into your main character energy. And the more you do it, the more naturally it will come to you. And before you know it, you will be that person who can go out and do all the scary things. So this is like a lifelong thing that you can use. I talk about it in the Movimentary in the book as something you can do as part of the Movification framework. If you're going on your Movify mission, and, infusing fun and adventure into your life, but you can also use it in your life in general if you do need to do something big and bold and brave and you don't feel like you have the tools to do it. This is a really fun way to have that tool to go and do that, do amazing things, hopefully without becoming a drug kingpin in the process. And I just want to mention one more thing before I go. It is like really hot at the moment. We're going through like the UK heat wave, and I'm in a little room and I don't have the windows open because of the sound. There's loads of sound outside. I didn't want that on the recording. And also I'm in England, so, AC just isn't a thing. So don't want to ramble on too much because I am melting away as we speak. But there is one thing I wanted to add in terms of this movie star alter ego thing. And it's something I came up with for the book. So it's not in the movie as an exercise you can do, but you do see me doing it. And that is the alter ego coffee shop test. Now, I will say this is probably easier to do in certain countries. Like I was in the States when I filmed my mini movie, Veronica in Vermont, and it was easier to do there because of a certain coffee shop and the fact they always ask for your name. In the UK, they sometimes ask for your name, sometimes they just shout out your drink order at the end. So bear in mind that this may not work depending on where you go, but as a concept and to get you thinking, and you can, tweak this and create your own exercise around this, doing something else. But this is what I did in America. So it's called the Alter Ego Coffee Shop Test. And yes, Starbucks was my coffee shop of choice because I am a PSL girly. Yes, I am that basic B word. I love autumn. I love pumpkins. I love pumpkin spice. I love anything to do with that. So when I was in the States, this is what I was doing. And they have a really great iced version, pumpkin cream, something over there. I had so many of those. But the idea is to head to a coffee shop where they usually write names on the cups and get a drink to go. So you'll get a to-go cup that they can write on. And ideally go somewhere that you're like a stranger. So no one knows you. It's not your local. The people who work there don't know you, because if they do, then they might look at you slightly weirdly if you try this. But the idea is not to give your real name, but to give them the name of your movie star alter ego. And, say it with confidence. Say it like it's always been your name. And just remember that you have used that name when you're waiting for your drink. So you don't let your drink go to someone else. But there's something powerful about hearing your alter ego's name being spoken aloud by someone else. And then you obviously responding to it. But also seeing it written on the cup in black and white, like in black marker, it makes it feel even more real. It's like tangible. You can hold it, you can take it with you, you can take a picture, you can put it on your desk afterwards. It becomes like a little souvenir from your alter ego self. And this exercise is so simple, but it's really, really fun. I did it several times when I was in the States, and I would go in and they'd be like, "What's your name?" And I'd be like, "Veronica." And the best part is that no one bats an eyelid. No dramatic music starts playing. No one screams, "Imposter." The world keeps turning. It's a silly little thing, but it's living proof that you can be whoever you want to be. You can be whoever you say you are, even if that's just giving a different name to a coffee shop worker. And it just shows you that most of the fears we have about putting ourselves out there or becoming that version of ourselves or whatever it is, they're just stories in our heads. You can go and you can tell them what your name is, whatever you want it to be, and they will believe you, because why wouldn't they? And then you can walk away from that coffee shop with your cup in hand and you feel like you can take on the entire world because, like I say, it sounds silly, but once you've done something little like that, it just shows you that you can be whoever you want to be and you can go after whatever you want. And no one will care. Like, no one is thinking about you the way you're thinking about you. That's a quote from Schitt's Creek. Alexis says it to David, and I just love it. We all get in our own heads and we're thinking, oh God, if I do this thing, I'm going to be judged so badly. When the reality is people probably don't even care that much. They might not even notice. And if they do, they're probably just thinking, oh, that's a cool person, or she's doing something awesome, or look how she's doing something confidently. I wish I could do that too. So it's just proof that we can do what we want and we don't have to care what people think. And also it's just kind of a bit thrilling using a different name. You kind of feel like you're a character in a spy movie or something. You become that character and you get a tiny taste of transformation and then realize that you can have more if you want. And that's where the rest of the movie star alter ego method comes in. So yeah, give it a go. Come up with your movie star alter ego name, vibe, personality, backstory if you want. You could come up with an origin story. Come up with a transformational item or a scent or both. Transformational song. Come up with your own ritual to get into the energy of your movie star alter ego, your main character energy. And then go and do the coffee shop test and see what it feels like. And if you do the coffee shop test or your own version of it, I would love to know how you felt. Because like I say, it's a silly little thing, but it's like a gateway exercise And then we want to do more things as our alter ego. So let me know. You can email me at action@movifyyourlife.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at movifyyourlife. I'll put these in the show notes as well. I'll also put the link to the website and the Moviementary and the book in the show notes. If you would like to go and check them out, please do. And yeah, that's a wrap, and I'll see you next week for another Movify Monday. Thank you so much for listening to the Movify Your Life show. Before you go, don't forget to sign up for the main character memo mailing list at movifyyourlife.com/list for exclusive tips, treats, and behind-the-scenes magic. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, leave a review, or share this podcast with a friend. Let's spread that Movify message far and wide, because everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. I'll see you next week for another Movify Monday. Until then, that's a wrap.